Good morning, namaste. Tina Russell with the Shin Dao, the way of the heart. So last night while Neil ran off to Boston Pizza to watch the football game because we don't have television reception in our home and there was no way for him to watch it here, I decided to sit down and write our annual Christmas letter. We've been doing this for quite a number of years now, where we send extended family, people like our aunts and uncles and cousins that we don't see on a regular basis, and friends that we left behind in Edmonton that sadly we don't see as often as we'd like to. We send them a little summary of our year so that they feel, well, at least we think it makes them feel like they're staying in touch and knowing what's going on in our lives. And this morning as I was sitting at breakfast thinking, what will I say on Facebook today? It suddenly hit me, boom, like a ton of bricks, that good morning, Cindy, that I was writing that letter out of a sense of duty, that I need to fill them in and let everybody know what was going on. And I realized as I reflected on what I wrote last night, that I didn't necessarily write that from a place of love. It wasn't about letting them know that we miss them and we don't see them enough, and that I'm writing this out of love to share what we've been doing so that they can feel like we still think about them and we're staying connected with them. And it was just another incredible example of how the Shin Dao, living the way of the heart, is about conscious living and about living with love first and about being aware of the how we're doing everything that we're doing. And that really is probably the biggest quality of a Shin Daoist, in that they pay attention to how they're doing what they're doing. It's so interesting how, thank you, Cindy, yes, it is a good morning. It's so interesting how just a minute shift in your attention to the way that you're doing things can really shift the energy behind what you're doing, and therefore shift the energy for the receiver if you're doing something specifically for someone else, for example. It is hard to put into words. Ooh, thank you for the heart. Who is that? Thank you. Love you too. It really is so, more hearts. Oh, love you guys. It really is so important to be consciously aware of not just what you're doing, but how you're doing it. And that's probably been one of my personally more challenging lessons of traveling this path of the Shin Dao, is to be consciously aware of the how I'm being and what I'm doing. I so used to measure my self-worth by what I got done in a day. That's the way I was raised. It was all about the doing. My dad and my dad's mother were very much doing people. That is what is it? Idleness or that work of the devil's hands or something. I can't even remember, because that's how little it means to me anymore. But there was something about sitting around and doing nothing is really not a cool thing. You need to stay busy and stay out of trouble, and staying busy for the sake of staying busy is what I did for a huge chunk of my life. And it literally ran me into the ground with stress. And I realized that being busy for the sake of being busy and getting things accomplished isn't really a measure of who I am. How I accomplished what I accomplished is the true measure of how I am. I can offer to help somebody out, but if there isn't this loving, caring, compassionate intent behind that help for that person, then it really is an empty sense of helping. And so I'm going to go back and review the letter that I wrote last night and come at it with this I miss seeing you and I love you sort of perspective as I write that letter, and just see how much that changes. And I bet the people who receive it will appreciate it that much more and know that we really do think about them, even though we don't call and say hi very often or spend a lot of time with them, but they still have a place here in our heart. And you certainly have a place in my heart for tuning in today, and appreciate if you share this. Maybe you'll remind someone else to be conscious of how they're doing what they're doing, and allow them to bring more of the beauty of who they are into this world. For if we are all fully showing up as the beautiful beings that we are, this truly will be a beautiful, peaceful world to live in. And that's one of my goals. I want to live in a peaceful world before I leave this planet. So my morning Facebook Live is my contribution to making that happen. And if you're able to share that and help me reach that many more people, then together we'll have made a bigger difference in the world. I love you. May you create a beautiful, loving day for yourself and those around you. Namaste.